Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Inside the Helmet. My name is Michael. I'm here with my dad here on this Friday evening.
Good evening. It's not
Mm-hmm.
not
Good
our
evening.
usual Wednesday, kind of a crazy week around our house.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
We've got a couple interesting things to talk about that actually kind of pertain to all sports in general. We obviously typically focus mostly on American football, as that's what we're most familiar with and what the large market is, for in the United States where we live. But this topic that we're going to present today does in a way pertain to all sports in one way or another. Obviously, each sport is run differently, every sports team is run differently. But I want to talk about some things that are widely applicable to all sports and all sports organizations, whether we're talking about the league as a whole or the individual teams and even the individual athletes. And that is the business side of sports, because at the professional level and even at the college level now, whether you like it or not, sports are a business and they are an entertainment business. Sure, these teams are competing against one another to win the championship, whatever. But the league as a whole serves to make money, and how it does that is by providing an entertaining product that people will consume. And so, what we tend to talk about online whenever there's the off season and there are mass amounts of player movements, take the NFL off season for example, where you have longtime veterans like Mike Evans going from the Buccaneers, where they've been a staple of that franchise for the last decade, and finally moving teams. And you can go, oh, well, how can he have no loyalty to the Buccaneers? Or, oh, how can they have no loyalty to him? Stuff like that. Oh, why do they only care about money? They're multimillionaires. It's not quite as simple as that. Do you have any opinions on that or any input?
Yeah, I mean, the very first thing was the salary cap.
Mm-hmm.
Has a lot to do with it. If you are looking at it from the owner, general manager side, the league says how much money you can spend on your team. And if you have a person, you mentioned Mike Evans, I mean, he's
Mm-hmm.
probably a Hall of Famer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, been a great player for them for a long time and great following, but he stick around long enough and he's going to be demanding more money,
Mm-hmm.
of
Well, his
course.
body's going to be deteriorating.
Exactly. And that's actually been one of the criticisms over the years of Jerry Jones. He
Mm-hmm.
doesn't know when to let go. Um,
Yeah.
Too loyal and paying too much money for guys who are on the backside of their careers. So,
Yeah.
but then you have the players and the players' agents who naturally want to maximize their money. Um, can't blame them for that, but they are always going to be at odds with the person who's writing the checks.
Absolutely. There are always numerous perspectives. Obviously, you have the perspective of the player, who is, of course, going to have the ultimate confidence in themselves, thinking, no, my body's good. I'm still great. I can still put up these numbers and all that. Whereas an outsider, like someone from the organization who's in charge of drafting that contract and paying that check to them, may look at it a different way and say, okay, I mean, yeah, you're good, but is there a younger guy who won't demand so much money and can also produce at the same level, if not even higher, if they're younger and still more athletic?
Yeah, I remember one time, and this has been a while back, so I don't remember the exact results, but I was kind of curious about some of the all-time great running backs.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody from Walter Payton and Barry Sanders and Emmett Smith and Jim Brown and O.J. Simpson and all the names.
Mm-hmm.
What is their real window where they are going to produce a 1,000 yard season these days doesn't mean that you're great because there's so many
Yeah.
games. So maybe a 1,200 yard season
Mm-hmm.
or a
12,
season.
1,500 is when you're really getting up there.
Yeah. how many years can you really produce at that level? And what I remember discovering was, for the most part, there's about a 4-year window, maybe with some players 5 or 6 years. But you know that the people who are writing the checks know this. So especially when it comes to running backs, if you got a guy who's led the league in rushing a couple of times and he's getting up close to 30, are you going to break the bank for him? I don't think so.
Yeah,
Whereas
it's not.
quarterbacks
Yeah,
can play much longer and still produce. So it's I think it's position dependent is what I'm saying.
it absolutely is, and I mean it. In a similar vein, you have somebody like a kicker or a punter who, sure, they have maybe the ultimate level of longevity, given how infrequently they're taking any sort of physical punishment, so they can honestly last around longer than just about anybody in the league. Yet, they're not going to pull the same weight in terms of the contract negotiations just because of the lesser value of their position.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned at the outset, it is a business. Each team wants to turn a profit. They want to fill the stadiums. They want to get the TV contracts. And so in the off season, whether they won the Super Bowl or finished at the very bottom, they have to give their fans hope. And that comes, part of it through the draft, part of it through trades, part of it through free agency. But at this time of year, each front office is throwing it out there to their fans. Hey, we looked at what our problems were last year and we fixed those. So there's reason for hope. So they're all selling hope when you get to the month of August.
Yeah.
Yeah. And by the time you get to the month of December, there's a lot of teams out there that are, you can't sell the hope because reality is set in.
Yeah.
But yeah, trying to juggle, it was so much different when I was your age. Guys would be loyal to a team, they'd be drafted there, and free agency was not the way that it is now, and the contracts were not what they are now. And you still had trades from time to time, but not guys just out there testing the market. And there were no franchise players, and it just was a whole different game. You could literally, kind of the same way you do with well, in college football, there's going to be turnover every 4 or 5 years. So if you have a favorite player, they're going to be gone. Their eligibility is going to run out. In the NFL, I grew up with the Dallas Cowboys of the 70s and 80s and 90s, and a lot of those guys I would watch for 7 or 8 or 10 years on
Mm-hmm.
the same team. And yeah, I don't know, if they're good enough to stay in the league that long, they usually are not going to stay on the same team unless you are the face of the franchise, which you would think somebody like, we'll just take Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
You can't imagine the Chiefs ever letting him go because he sells tickets just by being there. But at the same time, never would have believed that the 49ers would have let Joe Montana go.
That's a very good point. I mean, who knows what could happen? I mean, Mahomes is coming back from a torn ACL,
Yeah.
just because we mentioned him, so he's a good example of somebody who you could never imagine in a different uniform. But I mean, imagine in the mid '90s what they said about Jerry Rice,
Yeah.
and the possibility of him being in a different uniform. So crazy stuff has happened. I guess it's only a matter of time, and we'll see if players like Mahomes and Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are really going to ride it out into their 30s with their respective teams that they've been with their whole career, or will something happen? Injuries happen, as mentioned. Mahomes coming back from one, so.
And then you have the teams that are not at the top.
Hmm.
I remember back at the very end of his career, after setting the NFL rushing record, Emmitt Smith was not obviously in his prime anymore, but he still wanted to play. He wanted to put that record up there as high as he could. And the Cowboys kept him around. They wanted him in a Cowboy uniform on the day he broke Walter Payton's all-time rushing record.
Yeah.
But he still wanted to play, and so he went and signed with the Cardinals. And I remember thinking at the time, Well, the Cardinals were not a good team, and they just need something to tell their fans, "Hey, we're bringing in the all-time leading rusher," even though he was not the dominant player he had been. As it turns out, I kind of heard the backside of that story from Kurt Warner and
Okay.
some of the Cardinals who Emmett came in, and did he lead the league in rushing? No. He maybe had somewhere close to 1,000 yards, but what they talked about was his veteran leadership presence and what he taught not only the other running backs, but the other players on the team about what it takes to be a champion just by being there. And if you recall, it was just a couple of years later, and Emmett was already retired.
Hmm.
Um, the Cardinals got to the Super Bowl and they almost won it.
Yeah.
And they credit having that veteran presence around to show people how a professional acts. So sometimes when you have a guy on the backside of his career, maybe they're signing him because they need as many name recognition as they can get. And maybe like the Cardinals, as it turned out, they just needed somebody in there who can say, this is how you win. This is what it's going to take. Because I've read a lot of football biographies and autobiographies where, the guys are cashing the checks and they're all about themselves. And you got to create that, as they talk about, creating a culture of winning.
Yeah.
So there's a place for the older players if they're willing to take a pay cut to come in and do that.
There absolutely is.
Yeah. So I know that you had before the show you were talking about the tie-in
Hmm.
with the finances of sports. We all know about football and its big contracts, and teams that don't win wind up, if they have to sell some kind of hope to their fans, they'll fire the coach or they'll
Hmm.
bring in a new offensive or defensive coordinator, anything that they can, at least for the first half of the season, to give hope. But I know in F1 racing, clearly there's a lot of money there too. And
Absolutely.
you said you had some insights on the finances of all of that.
So, yeah, this is, well, it is financially related, but I have a quote or a, okay, that's a pop up. I don't read German.
Huh.
Trying to find the, okay, either way. Uh, so Stefano Domenicali is the CEO of the like Formula One division of the FIA, the governing body of Formula One, and he essentially is in a very high position of power, and he has a lot of control in terms of the regulations and just the direction that Formula One as a whole moves in terms of developing, how they're going to build the cars and how they're going to regulate things and what races are going to be on the calendar, that sort of stuff. And obviously, as he is in such a high position, he has made a lot of money just from all the money that flows into the Formula One world. Quite a bit of it goes into his pocket,
Okay.
and a lot of that is due to the fact that these mass changes that that he has kind of been in charge of orchestrating have, in one way or another, generated revenue. They have. Formula One in the last decade or so, since the media rights to Formula One were acquired by Liberty Media, which essentially brought F1 into the social media age, created a whole bunch of new like media coverage and all this sort of stuff to really especially push to the American market and grow the Formula One brand in the United States. It had mostly been more popular in Europe before, and it really kind of hyper modernized Formula One with all this social media stuff and trying to be all trendy and in with the younger crowd, which is not necessarily inherently a bad thing. But what Stefano Domenicali has kind of said is that he realizes that with things like the regulations and with the addition of newer tracks that are like brand new in favor of older, more classic and beloved traditional racetracks that had been on the Formula One calendar before and had been widely loved by older, more traditional fans, he is catering towards a younger, more profitable audience, which he more or less like I couldn't pull up the direct quote, but he more or less said that nobody cares
Mm.
about the regulations being bad, and in fact, most fans are praising the regulations because they are generating more action.
Mm.
And personally, as somebody who is very much online and scrolls through a lot of conversation about Formula One and actually sees what true fans of the sport who actually pay attention to it and care about it have to say, that could not be farther from the truth.
Mm.
It seems like he is simply trying to create this fictional world full of fans that are exactly what he said, where they are in favor of these changes and everything in order to get the people who are criticizing them to shut up.
It's the old Jedi mind trick.
Basically, he's
Yeah.
gaslighting fans.
Yeah.
It's not cool. It's essentially, he's making these changes because they're making him money,
Yep.
and he's completely betraying true classic heritage and tradition in the sport, which is very, very upsetting to see.
Huh. Well, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, there's always going to be people who are self-serving. Even if they are, as you said, he probably makes more money than anybody. My question has always been, when is it enough? I
Right?
mean, what is it that you can't already buy and your great great grandkids can't already buy? Um,
Exactly.
you're doing a disservice to the league just for your own ego. I mean, is that it? Um,
More or less, yeah.
wow. Well, it's a reality of any business, I guess, including sports. If there's big money to be made, there are those who can just never get enough, and that's where all their focus is. So
Yep.
disappointing. Um,
Very.
yeah. Well, so you said that for our third segment,
Yes. So
you've
I'm going
got
to.
a new thing to introduce.
Yes. So let me know, hold on, if I can do this and share that. Let me know if you're able to see this.
I see something on my screen that's very small, and my eyes are not as young as they used to be.
Let me try
Um,
and zoom
hold
in
on,
a
hold on, wait,
little.
wait, wait. I can.
Hold on, well, I'm zooming in
I
because
yeah, I
there,
can. I just made it
there we go.
larger on
Well,
my screen.
also for the recording, because this should come across on the recording if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Anyway, this
All
is
right.
a game called StatPad. The URL right here, statpadgame.com. It has NFL, MLB, and NBA. Obviously, we're going to focus on the NFL here. It is a daily game, much like Wordle and all these other daily games that have popped up in the wake of Wordle. We're not going to do today's or yesterday's. We're going to do the game from July 29th here. How this essentially works, for any of you out there who are not familiar, it gives you a category. So this day's category that we're going to do is rushing yards.
Yeah.
It will give you a team, then a time frame. So this one, for example, is the Arizona Cardinals
Yep.
from 2000 to 2025, and sometimes there will be a certain extra stipulation. Like for this one, it has to be a Cardinal from the 2000s who's never been an All Pro at any point in their career. And then
Well, that's most of them.
right? Your total score is depicted here. And then if you click on target down here, you can reveal the target score. So we need a total score cumulative. So this is across a single season, by the way. So we're going to need a particular season by a Cardinals player in the 2000s who has never been an All Pro in their career. So we'll guess our player here, and then after we guess the player, it'll actually show like kind of what percentile, and we can reveal what the best answers for those conditions would be. Then we'll go down the line. We each like game has like 5 different players that you pick.
And the problem with that first category is if there's a Cardinals player that you've heard of, it's because they were all pro.
Well, let's see. I have one. I'll do the first one.
Okay.
David Johnson had a pretty good year in 2016, I believe. It really put him on the map. He has been an All Pro. Okay, fair enough. Do you have a name to throw out?
I mean, I've got some names, but I know that they were all pro. It'd be easier if you said Cardinals all pros, because I would say, well, when Kurt Warner was there, Larry Fitzgerald, Aeneas Williams, clearly all of them had to have made all pros. So,
well, these are rushing yards though, so you wouldn't want to go Larry Fitzgerald.
Oh, I see.
No, we can do. We will come back.
Beanie Wells.
Who?
Beanie Wells. He got drafted out of Ohio State.
Beanie Wells.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what year should we go?
Ever. He had a short career, so
well, like what? Well, we have to pick his best, or what we think would be his best year.
I just didn't follow him enough.
I just 2011
the Cardinals.
Okay, that was actually a very, very good pick. You can see it says 99th percentile right here. In 2011, he had 1,047 yards. We can go look down. And yep, that was the second best answer. James Conner from a couple years ago would have been the best answer. So with that one guess, we're actually over the target, funny enough. But let's see how high of a score we can get. Next, we need a 49er since 1980 who was a quarterback. So I'm immediately assuming probably Colin Kaepernick would be a good answer here, you think? Or you think Steve Young might have more rushing yards in a single season?
Oh, we're still doing rushing yards.
Yes, this whole like game here is rushing yards.
I got it. Yeah, I think Kaepernick was known for his rushing. That's the best answer.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I think I probably would go like somewhere early in his career, maybe 2012 or 13. What do you think?
Man, I lost track of what years these guys played.
Yeah, well, I remember early in his career. I was
busy raising kids.
Fair. We're going to go 2012. That's the year they went and lost the Super Bowl. Okay, 2014 would have actually been the best answer. Then we have a Steve Young season. Then 2013 would have been even better. And then we have... Actually, our answer here, 2012, is not even in the top 5, but it's still not too far off. So that's still not a terrible answer. We could have certainly done worse. Next, we need an AFC East player. So any Patriot, Dolphin, Jet, or Bill from the early 2010s. And they can be any position or anything. No other stipulation here. Who are we thinking? Immediately, ones that jump out to me. Rick, did he play into like the 2010s?
Pretty sure, and he ran for over 10,000 yards, so he led the league in rushing.
He did. Let's try it. Should we go 2010 or 11? It's kind of late in his career.
And maybe.
Sure. Ooh, okay. Not quite the best answer. Only 673. Okay, the best answer would have been Stephen Ridley, then C.J. Spiller, Lamar Miller, Reggie Bush would have been a good answer, and then Chris Ivory. Okay.
Yeah.
Still not terrible. That could have been worse. I mean, we're about halfway to what the top answers were. Next, we need any Raiders player since 1980 who was also a quarterback. Ooh, so no Marcus Allen, no Bo Jackson, none of that.
Let me think through the list of Raiders quarterbacks I can remember since 1980. It's not Jim Plunkett. I promise you.
No,
Uh,
probably not. I mean, Derek
classic,
Carr is the
classic,
one that kind of jumps out to me, but
classic pocket passer.
hmm
Who of
probably
the
wouldn't want to go
had
Rich Gannon either.
is he was mobile, but I been
hmm
more as scramble around and then throw the ball. Um,
Yeah. I'm kind of thinking Derek Carr might be our best bet just because he played for so long. We can try and guess what he would have had a great season.
yeah, um, there's just no Raiders running quarterback. Raiders have always been
Yeah.
with Al Davis and even beyond that to throw it deep, you know. So they never really
Yeah.
got a dual threat quarterback that I can remember.
Yeah. We'll try. Ooh, okay. 2016 Derek Carr was not the right answer. Ooh, Terrell Pryor. And oh, we were just talking about Rich Gannon. Well, here he is 3 times in the top 10 or
Hmm.
top 5. So that would have been a better answer than 70-yard Derek Carr. I think he may have gotten injured in 2016 now that I think about it.
Yeah,
And to end it off, we need an Eagle since 2000 who's never been an All Pro in their career. Who could that be?
Eagles rusher, never All Pro.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
If only it
was
was rushing touchdowns. I don't know if Jalen Hurts has been an All Pro ever.
what about LeGarrette Blunt? Um,
Let's see, maybe. Maybe like in 2017. That was a good answer. Yeah, we have Miles Sanders, DeAndre Swift, Deuce Staley, and a couple other Miles Sanders, but LeGarrette Blount's
yeah.
still right up there with him, 97 percentile. We end with a total score just shy of 3,000 yards, which obviously blows out of the water the 776 that was our target. Do we want to do one more now that we kind of understand what we're doing?
Yeah, we got time for one more.
All right, let's see the day before. Passing touchdowns. Perfect. This is my favorite category. All right, so we need a New York Giant since 1980 who has never won the Super Bowl in their career, and also target score 79. Again, just looking for a single
So,
season of a player.
so that takes out Phil
Takes
Simms,
out
Jeff
Eli, Phil
Hostetler.
Sims, Hostetler. Yep, all the main ones.
Yeah, so we're looking for a New York Giants quarterback. Um, what? Who threw a bunch of touchdowns?
Yeah, we're looking for the most passing touchdowns that we can think of.
Well, I mean, Kurt Warner was there for 1 year teaching Eli, and I don't think
He wouldn't have
he.
thrown a bunch of touchdowns
I
that year,
don't. I
though.
don't. I don't think he did.
No. Daniel
So
Jones, maybe?
Daniel Jones could be. I'm gonna go. I'm trying to remember. Joe Pisarcik was in the '70s. Who was the Giants quarterback in the early to mid '80s before Phil Simms came along?
Asking me like I was there.
No, I'm trying to recollect because I didn't realize back when I
Yeah.
was living it I'd be quizzed on it someday. Um, so Eli got there in the early 2000s, like after Peyton.
hmm
So he kind of was Eli ever All Pro?
Well, no, this has never won a Super Bowl
Oh, sorry, yeah, that's
in
right.
their career. Yeah.
Yeah, never won a Super Bowl. Okay, so
hmm That's kind of why I'm thinking Daniel Jones. Because all the main Giants quarterbacks have
I
all
mean
won a Super Bowl.
I'm kind of not thinking of anybody else, so why not?
Yeah. I feel like Daniel Jones in like 2020. Well, when did he leave the Giants?
Uh,
I think 22 was like his really good year. Okay, 2019 would have been better. That was his rookie year. We have a few Kerry Collins, and then we have yeah, there you go. That was the fifth best answer. Not terrible. Next we need NFC
wait, stop. What were the better answers?
Daniel Jones his rookie year 2019, and then Kerry Collins in 2000, 2001, 2002 would have
Okay.
been better. But not by a whole lot. And the
Yeah, and
top answer was only 24. We got 15, so we're not too far off.
Kerry Collins was kind of one of those names that gets forgotten in history.
Mm-hmm.
He played
Yeah.
a couple of teams, and he always came in and he was pretty stable. He was like a big quarterback.
Yeah.
Uh, it didn't run much, but okay.
Okay. Next, we need to at least try and think of the leading NFC touchdown passer from 2008. So thinking
Hmm.
possibly Drew Brees, possibly Brett Favre. No, that was the year he was on the Jets, wasn't he? That would have been Aaron Rodgers' first year as a starter.
Breeze is a really good guess. Another one, again, my it's the years that are throwing me.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time in there after Steve Young when Jeff Garcia took over for the
Yeah,
49ers.
I mean he was till 2009 in his career, but I
Yeah,
don't know if he was with
I
the
don't know if he was with
49ers
them.
that whole time.
Yeah, he might have been.
Mm-hmm. I mean, this is 1 year before Breeze and the Saints would go on to win the Super Bowl, so possibly they were on the uptick and could have been.
I wonder if Romo was established yet.
I mean, he was in the league. I don't know if he was really. We could try Tony Romo. Do we want to?
It's not a bad. I'm not saying he's going to be the number one answer, but
Let's try it. 90th percentile, 26. Okay, Breeze was the top answer, then Kurt
yeah,
Warner, Aaron Rodgers, then Tony Romo, number 4. That's
okay,
not bad. McNabb was another name I had in my head, so
yeah.
I don't hate that. Cleveland Browns, immediately I'm thinking of Baker Mayfield. What do you think of that?
Are we still on never won a Super Bowl?
No. I will tell you if there's a special stipulation. The Giants one was, but the
This is
NFC one was not.
so.
Uh,
This one
the,
is Cleveland Browns 2000 to 2025 with the
mhm,
most touchdown passes in a season.
yes.
Okay, so Cleveland Browns have had like 17 quarterbacks over
Hmm.
that time frame. Um,
That's
the
why I'm
one,
just thinking of Baker Mayfield. It's
well, the ones
probably
that were memorable to me, and I never understood why they demoted Colt McCoy. Uh,
right.
but I also don't think he put up massive numbers. Uh, boy,
Yeah, I'm thinking like a 2020, maybe 2019 Baker Mayfield. You think?
yeah, nobody else is coming to my mind.
Yeah, let's go 2020. 26 touchdowns, 96th percentile. Okay, Baker's rookie year, he threw one more touchdown. And
Hmm.
then Derek Anderson threw two more than that in 2007. So we were right up there with the top answers.
And
Right.
nobody remembers Derek Anderson except Derek Anderson's mother.
Mm-hmm. We're at
Sorry.
67 touchdowns. We need 79. So we got two more answers to get 12 more. I think we're gonna do it.
All right.
Then we need AFC from 2023 and no other rules or anything. Immediately,
AFC
I'm obviously thinking
2023,
like Mahomes
I
or
jumped to Mahomes. I mean,
Mahomes, but then you could also have someone like a Josh Allen, maybe the odd like, oh, was that a year Joe Burrow got hurt? He could have had a lot.
Mahomes is a safe choice.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. 27 touchdowns. Top answer would have been Lamar, then Tua, then Mahomes here.
Okay.
So yeah, we're not very far off. We're already way over our goal of 79 or whatever it was. So we get to finish it off with an Eagle since 1980 who never won a Super Bowl in their career.
Well, Donovan McNabb has all of
Yeah.
the passing records, and he lost the Super Bowl. Randall Cunningham's also a good answer because I'm sure he had
Mm-hmm.
numbers, but I think
What year do we
McNabb.
think McNabb? Maybe like a 04, 05, 06,
Yeah, yeah, right
somewhere
around
in
'04.
there.
Yeah, right around '04.
Oh, 04. And that is the second best answer, only behind Carson. Okay, Carson Wentz has a Super Bowl. I think Carson Wentz has two Super Bowl rings. What are they on about?
Well, he wasn't the starter, but
Yeah, but I don't like that. I don't like that they have Carson Wentz on here because he has two Super Bowl rings. Either
right.
way, we get 125 um over our 79 target score. So it was a fun little game.
Yeah, no, we can do that again.
Yeah, absolutely. That was some good fun.
Yep.
But I think it's about all the time we're gonna have for today. So be sure to come back next week. Maybe we'll be back on our more regular schedule Wednesday evening recording. But for now, thank you for tuning in to another week Inside the Helmet. If you did make it this far, please be sure to subscribe on YouTube, follow on Spotify, and leave a comment asking any questions that you may have for us. We'll do our best to put our brains together and give the best answer we can. So, but for now, good night, everybody.
God bless.